Let's review the Lego Mandalorian Fang Fighter vs TIE Interceptor. Numbered 75348, this set was a part of the May 1st wave in 2023. This set is for ages 9+ and costs $160 in Australia or $100 in the US for 957 pieces including 4 figures. This set is based off of Mandalorian Season 3, although these two starships are never seen in combat in the show. Nonetheless, they are two understandable choices for this set and pair very well with the latest June 2024 Mandalorian Season 3 sets. The set is estimated to retire sometime within mid-2025. Taking a look at the box, it's fairly sized with box art of both starships dogfighting above Mandalore. At the top of the box you have the Mandalorian Fleet Commander with the helmet removed, and on the side of the box you have a snippet of the Fang Fighter, along with Mando and Grogu on the bottom right of the front there. This box has the Mandalorian themed box art. The back of the box has both ships landed with Mando fighting the TIE Fighter pilot on what looks like Kalevala, along with play features which we'll be taking a good look at when we have both ships built in hand. Opening up the box, you'll find plastic bags numbered 1 to 8. There are 2 separate instruction manuals so that 2 people can build at once, although there is no documented 8th bag. The TIE Interceptor instructions only go to bag 7, a mistake by Lego. The 8th bag is meant to be here for the TIE Interceptor, but left me thinking that I'd been given an extra bag. There's no sticker sheet or loose pieces. The instructions are typical with a render of the set for the front, with 1 scannable QR code for insider points. In case you were wondering, the first bag has Din Djarin, the 3rd bag has the Mandalorian Fleet Commander, the 4th bag has the TIE Fighter pilot, and the 7th bag has the R2-E6 astromech droid. Let's take a look at these figures. The set comes with 4 decent figures, 2 Mandalorians and 2 Imperials, that is, if you count astromech droids as figures. Starting with Din Djarin, this version of the figure comes in 2 other sets but is fairly new and definitely the best Din Djarin minifigure to date. This figure has the same amazing printing on the torso and legs we've been getting for a while, but the helmet print is so much better than before, and this figure has the addition of the Pedro Pascal head underneath. Not to forget the new Darksaber, which we've also seen in the Spider Tank set. You're given enough spare pieces to make 2 of these, which is great. It still doesn't look entirely accurate, the lightsaber hilt doesn't work in my opinion, but it nonetheless is the best we've gotten for it. The jetpack is also the wrong colour. In the show the jetpack is that same Beskar colour. We have gotten jetpacks with this colour on figures like Jango Fett, no idea why Lego aren't using it here. Amazing Din Djarin figure, although you can just get it in cheaper sets. Up next we have the highlight of this set in my opinion, the Mandalorian Fleet Commander. He comes with different visor pieces allowing for good customization. He is new but not unique to the set, as he also comes in a poly bag, but these figure poly bags are quite difficult to find in my opinion. This figure has very detailed printing, not to the extent of Din Djarin though. He comes with a thermal detonator and a DC-17 blaster. There is an extra thermal detonator. He's not seen too much in Mandalorian Season 3, but Lego does a great job of depicting the character, even including an accurate hairpiece. The Mandalorian Fleet Commander comes with 2 awesome facial expressions, one of which looks awfully familiar. This figure is great, although he is practically the same as the Mandos we get in the latest Ambush on Mandalore battle pack. Next is the TIE Fighter pilot, who, due to her head, is unique to the set. Other than that, she's not new or anything and is just a regular TIE Fighter pilot with nothing that special. This figure isn't the best TIE Fighter pilot we've seen. The latest UCS TIE Interceptor obviously has a better TIE Fighter pilot with arm printing. I hate how these TIE Fighter pilots have those really thick lines on the leg printing. It definitely makes the figure look less detailed in my opinion. Not to forget this figure comes with a pistol. There's a second pistol in this set, so your TIE Fighter pilot can dual wield them. Finally, we have the R2-E6 astromech droid. This is the first time we've gotten this figure and it is unique to the set. I hate how this droid takes up a slot in this figure selection. I don't like astromech droids that much, and for me this is another common Imperial astromech droid. Back printing would have been great, but there's none. Nothing special about this figure and it's a boring inclusion. There are so many cooler figures that could have taken this droid's spot. The figures are all okay in my opinion. I wouldn't say any of them are bad. The Fleet Commander and Din Djarin are great, but the Imperial figures are lacking. The only thing holding this set back in the figures category is the amount and selection. None of these figures stand out in my opinion. Just one more cool and unique figure in the set would have made it perfect. And there are so many to choose from. Axe Woves would have been a great figure to get. What's disappointing is that you get better and the same amount of figures in the latest cheap Ambush on Mandalore battle pack. I would definitely not recommend buying this set for the figures. However, I would definitely recommend buying this set for the 2 starship builds. These builds are the set's saving grace and definitely the main draw. This is a 2-in-1 ship set, so you can't purchase these ships sealed individually. This set does look worth the $160 size-wise, whilst looking at the builds. This is the first time we're seeing the Fang Fighter in Lego, and we haven't seen the TIE Interceptor since 2005. So this set does have a good selection of builds. Starting with building experience, the TIE Interceptor does have Technic, but there's no Technic for the Fang Fighter. The Fang Fighter is for the most part just plates layered on top of each other. It does mean the build is flat, but I wouldn't say this made the building experience worse. This set does have no stickers at all, only printed pieces. This makes for a great build experience. The only bad thing in my opinion is the TIE Interceptor build did get a bit repetitive. Both sides are symmetrical. The finished product is worth it though. Starting with the Fang Fighter, this ship turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I hadn't heard many, if not any good things about this Fang Fighter, and I think that's mainly because the TIE Interceptor is so incredible. The TIE Interceptor takes up more pieces in this set. It is more iconic and gets a little more screen time in Mandalorian Season 3. But honestly, if this Fang Fighter build was released by itself, I'd probably pick it up. It looks really sleek and is very accurate to what it's based off of. Lego tried to make the color and pattern on the bottom match the top, which works. The color of the Fang Fighter is boring, but it's accurate and that's Lego Star Wars for you. A lot of grey builds. I love the 3 engines with blue thrust at the back and the 2 turrets at the top look good. The windshield looks incredible. The printed white detail on the top is just off color, but the cockpit underneath looks fantastic. I love the tan color and the controls for the pilot are very detailed. An incredible cockpit for a small starship. Let's move on to the play features. This Fang Fighter is extremely sturdy. It definitely won't be breaking when flying or even dropped. The only flimsy part of the Fang Fighter are the turrets on the top, which snap off easily. The turrets don't shoot anything, but there are 2 spring-loaded shooters underneath the build, which are great. But they are just kind of chucked on there, and you can accidentally shoot them off easily whilst flying. This set does have incredible swooshability, which is perfect for kids. At the front there is this storage compartment, which is tiny and can hold 2 thermal detonators and a blaster maximum. It isn't big enough to hold the Mandalorian Fleet Commander's hairpiece, so I don't know where you'd put that during play. One of my small nitpicks for the Fang Fighter is I wish there'd have been more storage. Coming back to the beautiful cockpit, you can fit the Mandalorian Fleet Commander with his jetpack into the spacious area, although you do have to fold the rangefinder down if that helmet accessory is being used. And he looks and fits perfectly in there in my opinion. No stud connections, there is a piece for his legs to fit into. He definitely won't be moving or falling out in the course of play. And that's the Fang Fighter, very underrated in my opinion. But that's for good reason, because when in the same set as this TIE Interceptor, the Fang Fighter doesn't stand a chance. It is a very, very cool TIE Interceptor. This playscale TIE Interceptor holds up against the UCS version, being extremely detailed and accurate at such a small scale. Not that it's small, this build is quite large and bigger than I expected, as you can probably see on screen whilst compared to other Lego Star Wars sets. The only 2 bad things about this build's aesthetic is that there's a large gap between the cockpit and wings, and there are blue Technic pins showing at the back. Lego could shake this off as being a throwback to the previous TIE Interceptor, which had that odd blue design. Compared to the UCS TIE Interceptor, this version is very tiled off. The cockpit, whilst building the set, didn't seem that circular and seemed like it was the wrong shape. But once completed, looks incredible. Lego captured the shape of the circular cockpit so well whilst still leaving room for play features. At the back there's the red lights for what I think is the thrust and this black round part, which looks good. The windscreen and top part are both printed, which again is great, although the top printed piece can spin around and get out of whack. Inside the cockpit looks great too, with the red colours perfectly capturing what we see in Mandalorian Season 3. You can also see some of the Technic that makes up the sturdiness of the model at the back of the cockpit. The wings also look great, but were a bit of a hassle to put together. Like the Fang Fighter, the colour is mirrored on the bottom. The placement of the turrets is good, and mostly accurate, but it would be so much more satisfying if they were placed here. Like the Fang Fighter's turrets, these do snap off quite easily. The wings are very detailed and have an accurate shape. The middle section between each wing looks really sleek and has a bit of that greebling detail, mirrored on each side. Moving on to the play features, starting at the cockpit you can pull open the windscreen and top to allow access to the cockpit for the TIE Fighter pilot. She fits well in there and it looks good. The windscreen fits perfectly over the cockpit, no gaps. There are some spring-loaded shooters fitted secretly into the build. Unlike the Fang Fighter, you won't accidentally shoot these off whilst flying. This set is very sturdy. You can hold it from the cockpit, which feels the best, but also by the wings, which can get a bit wiggly, but won't break. This playscale model beats out the UCS when it comes to landing because it can actually stand by itself. It's that strong. It does bend the wings though, slightly. Both builds are definitely meant for some serious play. You can also land it a variety of different ways, like standing it wings up, like this. Other than that, this build doesn't have any storage or anything like that. Sadly, nowhere to put the TIE Pilot's dual pistols. This build lacks play features. although I can see it being difficult to pack play features into this sleek build. LEGO definitely made this with aesthetic and accuracy taking priority over play features. Don't get me wrong, it still has great switchability and basic play features a TIE Interceptor needs. Overall, an incredible TIE Interceptor model. To conclude, what this set lacks in figures, it makes up for in builds, having crazy good Fang Fighter and TIE Interceptor models fit for display and play. Other than the figures, I think this is a perfect LEGO Star Wars set. I actually wasn't going to pick this set up until I saw it on sale for $30 off in the May 4th promotion, and I'm glad I did pick it up because this set surprised me for being how good it is. I think it's worth the $160, although it's understandable not to purchase because the figures do drag the set down. I'll give this set an 8.5 out of 10, but let me know your ratings in the comments. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Now's the time to like and subscribe. I love this set's builds, although I wish the figures were better. To be honest, it is a great set that exceeded my expectations. Leave a comment on your thoughts about this set, or leave a question that might be answered in a Q&A video. Follow us on Instagram for the latest LEGO news and channel insight, and I'll see you in the next video.